My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 25, we have the main event of the evening. We have Dominick Reyes versus Jiri Prochazka. And this is an interesting one. This is a very interesting main event. I'm genuinely looking forward to this. And it really comes down to, is Dominick Reyes as good as he was in that Jon Jones fight, or was that just the greatest fight of his entire life and he'll never look as good again? Like that's literally what this comes down to, because Jiri is a straight up crazy person, an actual crazy person. So this is really interesting to me. And I'm curious, Dan, what your thoughts are, how you see this going. And if you think Dominick Reyes, that was just the fight of a lifetime against Jon Jones, or if that's what he really is like, and he'll be back to that form here.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I think that is a great question. And I'll kind of get into what my thoughts are on it. But I will say, before I get into all that, Jon Jones has made a lot of guys look very competitive in fights that I think he is levels above. If for whatever reason, he's just, he gets in fights where they're competitive, and I think he's better than a lot of these guys, significantly better, But the thing Jon Jones always does is he wins. He's always, whether it be on cruise control or not, he finds a way to win. So with that being said, on Reyes, he's 6-2 in the UFC, so not a crazy amount of fights. He lost his last two, but again, both champs, Jon Jones and the current champ, Jan Blachowicz. 6'4", 77 inches reach. He's not going to have a reach advantage in this fight. Prochazka has an 80-inch reach advantage. Did you say that one right earlier, or what?
Oh, I did not say that.
Yeah, Angel nailed it. No. Angel nailed it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that was. But
what did he say? Prochazka?
I think it's Prochazka, right? Prochazka.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's a regional accent that should be involved, and we're just absolutely mauling that.
I'm pretty sure it's Prochazka is the way you pronounce it. So anyways, I think, listen, this fight is crazy because Prochazka is crazy. I was trying to find an opponent to just see who Reyes might have fought that has a similar style. And, recently at least. And the closest I could find was Jon Jones, and I don't think that even really does it justice. There's just nobody out there that can mimic, like you said, the way this guy fights. He's like Michel Pereira. Jacob, you did say that earlier.
I'm the one that you just steal all.
Okay, hold on. I will give
Michel Pereira without the backflips.
I'm so sorry.
Michel Pereira without the backflips. Go ahead. I'm
sorry, but I wasn't really listening to you say that before, because I generally don't pay attention when you're saying things.
When I was muted. Probably when I was muted.
So when I was watching it, I thought the same thing, and then I was like, wait, I think Jacob might have said that. But anyways, we'll add that into the credits at the end that I stole that from you. But yeah, the guy's a crazy man. He comes out, he doesn't care if he gets hit. He goes forward. He's like staring off into the distance randomly. Like, he just does some bizarre stuff, but at the same time, he's skilled. He's obviously has skills. The guy's on a crazy win streak. He hits hard. He can certainly take a punch. And it's impossible to train for a guy like that. Like, I don't know, maybe you find 10 drunk people and just line them up and fight each one for 3 minutes to just get that level of unpredictability. There's no other way you could train for that guy. So this fight, in terms of DraftKings, has me more scared than any other main event, to the point where, I'm going to take one of them. I think I'm going to take Prochazka, but man, I might rework things and just stay away from this because it's just, I have no idea. I think I just could see it going either way. But back to your original question, Angelo, I have generally thought that Dominick Reyes is very, very, very good, but I don't know that he's as great as people made him out to be after that John Jones fight. We'll see. I think he's very, very good striker. I think he's got ways to win this fight. I think it's going to come down to either who lands the first big shot, like that could be one way. And I think the way that Reyes could win this fight will be to deal with kind of the, he's going to have to maintain his composure, but there's a fine line between maintaining your composure and being too passive and freezing. Like it's tough to kind of differentiate between those two. And then the flip side of that is just being too aggressive, engaging in it. And at that point, you might as well be flipping a coin because whoever lands the first big shot is going to win the fight. So I think the key for Reyes is going to be calculated aggression, right? Stay composed in the moments where he can, but wait for the openings and turn it on and land big shots, which it's not an easy thing to do. It's a fight, there's a lot of adrenaline. It's a main event. So I just think this is a tough fight for Reyes. I think it's going to make or break most people's lineups. So right now I have Prochazka in my lineup. I just think he's, I'm just not completely sold on Reyes. I think Prochazka, his chin, his just, you don't know what's coming from him. He's got power and he's going to push a pace and just make a fight that Reyes I don't think has ever seen before. So I've got him in there right now at $8,300, but I will say this fight is just risky no matter who you pick in DraftKings. So
I have him in my lineup too. I think $8,300 is a great price. The dude, every single one of his fights except one is ended by stoppage. Like every single one except one fight, he is a stoppage. So I just think he's going to score a ton of points. I think he's an absolute wild man. He's obviously very skilled and he's wild. $8,300 is a great price. And I agree. I think Dominick Reyes is a little overrated. I think John Jones turned him into a legend. Like John Jones made Dominick Reyes. Obviously he earned the title shot, but the title shot, he got more credibility after losing that fight than he ever had before it. And I think Jan Blachowicz sort of exposed that. And I know Dominic was weird because he didn't seem to be taking that fight serious. Like he almost bought into his own hype of I beat John Jones, I should be the champ. But I don't think he's great. And I do think Prochazka is great or will be great. I think this is pretty clear, honestly. I think we get a stoppage out of Jiri. I'm taking Jiri. He's in my lineup. I am going to go over on this monkey knife fight line, though. 40 significant fights in a 5-round fight. I do think there's a stoppage, and I know Dominick Reyes is sort of slow, but I think he'll get more than 40 in there.
They might get that in the first 2 minutes of the fight, but the way Prochazka fights. Yeah,
Prochazka will definitely get more than 40. I mean, unless there's a stop. That's why these lines are so freaking crazy. But I am going to go with the over on both. I think he stops Reyes, but I don't think he stops him immediately. And maybe I'll check the Blachowicz, how many significant strikes he threw in that fight. That'll probably be a good indicator of what'll happen here. But I imagine it was more than 39. So I'm going to go the over on the significant strike line. He's in my lineup, or Prochazka he's in my lineup. $8,300 is a great price point. I would have done it for $9,000, honestly. So he's in my lineup. I have all the confidence in the world that he's going to score some solid points, because if he wins, it's by stoppage, and I just don't see him losing. He's not going to win a low scoring, boring decision. It's just not going to happen.
I agree with you for the most part. You don't have any concern. I mean, he got rocked a few times against Volkan. Like, he doesn't care if he gets hit, and that. I just don't think Dominick Reyes is good. I just really don't. He's obviously good, but I just don't think he's. All of this clout is because he fought John Jones and it was a close fight. John Jones did nothing in that fight. He also knocked out Chris Weidman in the first round.
Okay.
He also knocked out Jared Cannonier in the first round. But then to your point, he's got, split decision over, but he won. He beat Volkan too. Like, he's beaten some very good guys.
I think it's a style thing, and none of those people attacked him. And I think Jiri's going to attack him. And I think it's going to be a problem for it.
Yeah,
Jan Blachowicz attacked him, and Jan stopped him.
But Jan didn't. I was looking at that tape. It's not even that fight. Watching that fight, I don't think even means anything in this fight, because Jan is a very stationary, powerful, kind of counter puncher. Whereas this guy, it's like, again, the Tasmanian devil just coming at you, like arms swinging, flailing. I still can't get over that thing where he just looks up into the sky. I'm like, what is he looking at? Why is he doing that? It's very weird. And also he hits you with a punch when you look up too. You're like, what is he looking at? And he hits you.
That might be where it came from. So Jacob, what are your thoughts and how do you see this going?
I just think it's very interesting. You're talking about Jiri's value at $8,300 because of all the first round finishes. I said the exact same thing about Jan Cutelaba, who's cheaper, and you scoffed at me and you took the other fighter. It's very weird.
I didn't scoff. I literally said
it's my turn to talk, sir. Jiri, this fight is a coin flip, and it comes down to, is Jiri's chin going to hold up? And you got to look at his record and his streak and say, I guess it has been, so I'll go with Jiri. This was the first fight in the first card, I think ever, where I actually thought about not picking the main event because it is such a toss-up. But, Jiri's chin seems like it's been holding up, and he throws bombs and he chases those finishes. So I'll ride the hot hand. I think Dominick Reyes is much better than what Angelo gives him credit for. I think he's a phenomenal athlete and a really, very, really, really good striker. But, Jiri, I just think, he's on his streak. So I'll just go the hot hand, and he's in my lineup. So I went with Jiri.
All right. Well, you said hot hand more than I would have liked to have heard in this, but it is an interesting fight. I think it's pretty one-sided, but it'll be fun because Dominick Reyes obviously can fight. He shows up. I think he's overrated for sure, but we'll find out if he gets frustrated with this crazy style, if he can implement a more logical, normal game plan. It's a very cool main event. It's an interesting main event. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hitting the more on the monkey knife fight, significant strike line.
I'm going less on that because I think it's an early. I think they both come forward and Jiri's chin holds up. But so I'm going less on that.
Yeah, and you're going less because you think Jiri knocks
early. I think even if it got stopped either way, even if I think it stopped under 2 minutes.
Well, if you want to take your chance at tripling your money, hit up the link at the bottom of this image, playmkf.com/wewantpicks, and use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match up to $100, no strings attached. You play the more, you play the less, and you will triple your money if you hit it. We just want to give a giant thank you to all of our members and to everybody who donated this week, specifically Jesse Correa, Dunchichi, Chris Jory, David Raymond, Chris Toronto, Ansi Music, and Jill Gretka. Thank you all very, very much. If anybody is interested in becoming a member, there is a join button down below. You'll get a fancy little crown in the comment section. If you're interested in sharing the wealth from all of our fantastic picks, there's a donation link in the description below. Thank you all very, very much for the support. It is much appreciated, and everything goes right back in this channel to give you the best possible production and best picks on the planet.
Definitely appreciate all you guys watching. Love interacting with you guys in the comments. So keep writing comments. We'll keep going back and forth. Jacob and I will keep arguing, or Jacob and Angelo will keep arguing, but really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching.
Get your crowns.
Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.